Hello. So while we're waiting for the Biden, the last domino to fall, while they're proving the judicial system is all corrupt, let that narrative play out. We need to be patient. For the time being, we need to focus on waking more people up. So 9/11, let's shed some more light in the darkness. This is something we've always had questions about, something we never really believed. We knew there's always more to it. And there's been lots of conspiracy videos about which has helped see things from a different light, see the controlled explosions that were going off, the puffs of smoke that were coming out the side of the buildings. But once again, all this stuff's been like hidden, or people have been sort of humiliated, saying it's all conspiracy theorists, you're nuts, all this sort of stuff. Well, these guys, so this is Richard Gage, 911.org. Between him, he's led a team for the last 18 years. They've pulled together a group of 3,600 architects and engineers that have done their own investigations of what's gone on, answering all these questions for the fact that where was all the layers of concrete that should have collapsed. They said it, the building, sheer weight of it brought itself down. So where's all the concrete? There was no concrete, it was just steel everywhere. It's like this concrete had just literally evaporated, just been completely pulverized. And the fact that in the steel evidence that they found, there was steel had been almost like melted through and cut. There was molten steel everywhere. Fire cannot get hot enough to melt steel. And the fact that debris was flying outwards, well, if it was collapsing on itself, it would all come down. The fact that it was a controlled explosion all the way down. These guys have gone into the detail of all the evidence that they've managed to sort of look into, where they found particles of thermite. And they proved it was thermite by doing their own investigations, because they found iron molecules, and there's no iron in the building anywhere, but there was just nano sort of particles of iron all over the steel, and they were trying to explain where this iron came from. And when you set off thermite, it produces these little iron sort of molecules, and it literally was all over the place. So they'd proved that thermite was actually in the building, and they proved that the thermite can burn through steel. And so they've gone through the nth level of investigations with this. The fact that obviously all the concrete's gone, the fact that steel's literally just been cut or melted, and the fact that it has to be a controlled explosion for the fact it's going to fall all the way down. And also when they've been saying about the fact it collapsed in on itself, there wasn't enough weight at the top to bring it all down, because as you go lower and lower down, the steel gets thicker and thicker and thicker right around towards the bottom. But it literally was just caving in on itself. Then it was showing the fact that the puffs of smoke we've seen were happening like 6 to 10 floors below where it was coming down. And on top of that, they've pulled all these 156 eyewitnesses, first line responders that were already down there, all their sort of evidence that they shared that was literally hidden. The fact that they heard explosions going off. And there was actually a building 7 that went down, which not many of us learned about until fairly recently. And that went down like after the other two. But there was 2 people that were in there, and they ran in because they were supposed to be going to a particular floor. It was like a response floor, because obviously the planes had hit the tower, but it had been evacuated. They were late. So they were running up into an evacuated building, and they were literally getting blown apart, as in like pushed backwards by explosions going off in the building. And this is when they got to like 6th to the 8th floor, and they're all trying to run out. So the evidence they've got behind them, these guys, is just insane. It blows your mind. And they're pushing for this to get reinvestigated. There's a petition on the site as well. Highly recommend you jump on. Go through, obviously, the site. Amazing amount of information they've got on there. It's so much to share with people, just to wake people up, to show that how much the government has lied to them. And it just really sort of opens their mind a bit more. Hope it helps, but whoa, what a sight. Absolute hats off to these guys. There's a petition on there that you can go on and sign to help push it to get him reinvestigated as well. Like I thought, for more, I'll speak to you soon.